Hey team, how are you? I'm going to wait for one of you to tell me that you can see me and hear me okay. I don't have another device to double check my streaming right now, so I'll just take some water and take a look at my notes until a few of you hop in. Awesome, thank you. I also can't see your names through Be Live, which is the platform I use to record this, so I'll just have to answer you without identifying who you are, but thank you. I want to roll right in. It's 2 o'clock. I let you guys know yesterday I would be going live today. I'm so excited to be with you. I have quite a few exciting updates to share with you. I also want to do a 10 to 15 minute training as a 2.0 training on taking your classes in your business online right now. I say 2.0 because one of our beautiful leaders in doTERRA, Michelle Cannon, recorded a video on the doTERRA business page last week, I believe it was. You'll find it if you go to our class kit. I've embedded it there. You'll also find it if you go over to Facebook to doTERRA's business page. You'll see it in the videos section there. I'd like for you to go and watch that if you haven't, because what I'm going to share with you today is it parlays off of that. It does encompass some of what she shared, but I also thought I could leverage or share with you some of my experience building in the online space for the last decade, just some, especially specifically with doTERRA. I want to share some of my tips with you. And then as I said, after that, I want to go through some team-specific updates. But before, let's just open up and be together in this space. We, as a family here, are 10 days into our isolation period, as I know many of you are or are heading into. I want to open up by sharing with you how to best put your oils and supplements to work right now to ensure that you are staying strong and in your power. Part of what I'm going to share in the first few minutes here is why, as a doTERRA collective, not only as people building this business, but as just a collective of 8 million plus around the world using doTERRA, this is probably the most interesting time of your life to be putting your oils to work. Okay, so I do want to share my screen with you as we go throughout the next hour together. What I'm showing you here on the screen, I have put into our business deck. Everything I'm going to share with you will be, I'll post the resources for everything I'm sharing into this video after I stream, okay? But for now, if you just want to follow along through the screen share, then that's brilliant. So here is what a daily immune fortifying routine would look like. We've learned some things about this present time based on, places around the world, such as China, that have been living through this longer than we have. There's been new information that's come out in the last few days of what they've learned about this particular virus. They've learned that it lives on surfaces up to 9 days, specifically metal surfaces. So I'm going to go through 4 or 5 points you'd want to be doing right now in your home to bolster yourselves, to stay strong through this time. So number 1, washing all of your door handles, door knobs, any metallic surfaces. It appears to live on surfaces for 9 days. So even though we are practicing isolation, all of us, right? We need to make sure that what we're bringing into our home, if you're doing some sort of a grocery top-up every couple of days or once a week, when you bring things into your home, you need to make sure that you're cleaning packages, make sure that you're cleaning surfaces if someone has left to go for a walk, which I highly encourage. I think that's very healthy to do, to get some sun in your skin, breathe in some fresh air. But just do make sure you're using your On Guard all-purpose cleaner to clean those surfaces. Tip number 2, what they've learned about this virus is that it will live in the throat for 3 to 4 days before moving to the lungs, where it becomes most dangerous. So recommendations are to keep your fluids up, specifically warm or hot drinks, coffees, teas, things like that, while it's in the throat space. But even more important is to use some sort of an antiseptic some sort of cleansing rinse in the mouth. So of course, our On Guard mouthwash is ideal for this 2 to 3 times a day. Something we've been having the kids do every morning and night is brushing their teeth right away in the morning and using their On Guard mouthwash right away before breakfast, before they drink water, just to really clean that area. Number 3, putting your oils to work. So I want to cover off some key oils with you that you would want to be paying attention to right now. The obvious for sure, and then one second here. The obvious for sure, and then going through a few that you may not have been thinking about right now. So massaging protective and diluted oils, because a lot of the protective oils can be a little more caustic or hot on the skin. So here you would want to be choosing, obviously, your On Guard. You'd be using it morning and night, maybe even in the afternoons. Working it into your chest, working into the bottoms of your feet, putting some socks on, just allowing it to work its way through your system a few times a day. Now, other oils you want to be looking at rotating in with On Guard would be rose, oregano, tea tree, frankincense, eucalyptus, breathe. Other ones you may not have been working in yet and want to consider are Melissa, Arbor Vitae, DDR Prime, and rosemary. I highly suggest, and Emily Wright, I believe she talked about this in a video last week, taking a drop of Melissa under your tongue in the mornings and or at night. You could also rotate in copaiba and frankincense under the tongue, help it work its way through your body morning and night. Diffusing with more intention is key right now. So pick 3 time points per day to cleanse the air in your home. I recommend, and you'll love this blend actually, Arbor Vitae and Bergamot. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me talk about this. We diffuse this every morning lately, equal drops, and then On Guard and peppermint in the afternoon, lavender and breathe at night before you sleep. Supplements. This would be an ideal. I know that not all of you have these in your home, perhaps don't feel you can afford these in your home at this time, but if you do have them in your home, here's how to put them to work right now. 1 On Guard soft gel each morning. Alternative here would be DDR Prime or the Yarrow Palm capsules. Deep blue polyphenols or the turmeric capsules, 2 per day. These polyphenols that are found in both of those are very important right now to help the body deal with the inflammation it may be experiencing and reduce oxidation. The deep blue polyphenols has sold out because a lot of people have caught wind of this. I think doTERRA is working on those inventory levels right now, but if you have them in your home, it's time to get those in your body. 2 Mito 2 Max per day. Mito 2 Max simply helps to stimulate and support efficient energy cycles in the body, which is really important for healing, for defense, for protection. Lifelong vitality is a given, breakfast and lunch. And then I suggest probiotics at night before bed, 1 to 2 of the PB Assist. I also suggest if you're looking at additional supplementation, you're looking at around 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 with a K2 blend, okay? That would be if you're in an area right now where you can't get outside and get some sun on your skin. If you are going for a walk, which is beautiful, try to get out near some trees where you're breathing in that fresh air, but also allow your skin to get some sun on it without sunblock. This is really important right now. The sun is so healing. In fact, if you were to look up in the early 1900s, when the last big flu pandemic hit, they did sun protocols where they would put the patients outside on beds simply so that they could be out in the sun, okay? Boosting your intake of vitamin C, whether through a supplement or citrus fruits or something like camu powder, okay? And the last piece I wanted to recommend here before I pull this daily ritual slide down is that you become aware of the Symphony of the Cells protocol. If you actually go to even just their Facebook page right now, they've created a free 5-minute video. You can learn how to do Symphony of the Cells for your family. If somebody's feeling run down, okay, I would get accustomed to this now, okay? So I'm gonna pull that slide down. Just so you guys know, if you want to expand on some of these concepts I've just shared, perhaps just come together and really talk about how we can support our immune systems, not not just now, but always. I'm doing a class tomorrow in the Whole Fit Classroom at 2 o'clock Eastern. So that's Tuesday, March 24th. You can join me there. You can go to wholefit.com/classroom. I'll be sending out the updated immune package through email to everyone who is on the class list in about 3 hours later this afternoon. And it's interesting because I actually plan my classes out 6 months in advance. And so I had planned that topic for March like 6 months ago. So what I am planning to do is teach in the way I normally would about immune systems, not specific to what's going on right now, but all of that applies even more so right now, okay? So, as I said, I do have some updates I want to go through with you. But I first want to open up with a conversation around why doTERRA, why now? This is not some sort of opportunity session because all of you here are already building the doTERRA business. What I do want to, I had posted yesterday in our group a couple of questions that some of you may already be asking. I actually dual posted this over to Instagram yesterday. 98% of the 300 or 400 people that hit the yes or no button said they have also been having questions like this, such as, I wonder what type of business will be in high demand in the coming months, coming years. I wonder what type of business is protected at a time like this when there is so much up in the air right now. I wonder what creative solutions I can come up with to really serve my community right now. This is a big question. If you haven't been asking yourself this and you are a business owner, this is perhaps the question, the biggest question. If you are somebody in a position to serve other people, to help other people, to through that create flow in your work, then it's time to really tune in and see where you're being guided to create and to be that solution. Probably the most interesting question is, I wonder why some leaders and business owners are so calm right now in this sea of chaos. I created a program last fall called the Life Scrub. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for reducing the distractions in your life. I have several programs like the Beautiful Life Lab. I've been infusing that into this group for years now, that your greatest competition is the state of distraction you might be in. Your greatest competition is that device in your hand that's constantly keeping you in a state of distraction. This is more relevant now more than ever. One of the things I've shared in the past is if you want to know who the most powerful person in the room is, let's say you're at a dinner party, RIP dinner parties, right? Let's say you're at a dinner party and you're looking around the room and you want to know who the most powerful person in that room is. It's the person that's not on their phone. At a time like this, when there is so much spinning, there is so much fear being promoted, there is so much chaos, the most interesting people to be looking at right now are the ones who are calm. These are the leaders. These are the leaders who have been leading the whole time. These are the people who have been prepared for a time like this, okay? If that's you, if you feel like you are in a position where you've been doing the work, the personal work on yourself, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, physically, health-wise, with your oils, then this is your time to show up and shine in our world, okay? Now, the answers to all of these questions I've just shared with you, of course, can be found in little glass bottles. The reason I say that is because I cannot think of another business model, a home-based business model, that is as positioned as doTERRA is today to lead and to serve and to meet people in the most needed way. This is one of those times where you're going to either look for the green light or the red light in your business. Every business owner is asking the same questions right now. Is this something I'm going to have in the coming years? How can I ensure that everything that I've worked for doesn't fall apart? These are not questions you need to be entertaining right now if you do build a doTERRA business, because what you do, what you offer people is in highest demand. Probably not yet, but in the coming 3 to 6 to 12 months, because there is an awakening happening right now, you guys. This is a huge awakening. I'm not going to go into too much on this right now. There's the thing happening. The most common word in many homes right now. There's that thing happening, and then there's the thing underneath the thing. There is a huge shift happening in our world right now, and more people than ever before are tuning in and waking up to the fact that everything they've done up until now is meeting them at this moment in time in their life. If they've been doing the work up until now to take personal responsibility of their health, if they've been educating themselves on how to integrate various streams of income in their life, if they have been doing the emotional work and the energy hygiene to be able to be somebody who is calm in a state of chaos, they are the ones showing up right now and serving at the highest levels. And this is a big invitation to everyone. I've seen many of you in this group reflect on what this business has meant for you in the last few years and what it means even more so to you today. And so when I go through the updates at the last portion of this time together, I'm going to share why it's actually a very exciting time for you to step fully into your not only into your leadership, but truly, you guys, into your power. This is the invitation you've been waiting for you to truly show up when many people are feeling like they don't know left from right now. Okay. A question to be asking at a time like this is, when in your life have you worked through something like this before? You've been here, I'm sure, before. If I know, I tend to do very well in times like this because of my childhood. Like many of you, I've gone through really hard times, and I've learned how to adapt in times like that. I've learned how to work through chaos, and I know so many of you have gone through times like this where things felt very scattered, where things that you had held on to in the past for a sense of security and perhaps stability feel like it's like sand running through your hands, right? I want you to think right now of a time in your life where you have been here, and remind yourself that you have been here before and you made it through. And I want you to really reflect on what helped you in a time like that. The call for everyone right now is to do what you need to do to be in your place of power. I felt very led to do a lot of writing over the last few weeks. If you follow my blog, for example, you've seen more posts going up there. One of the first ones I wrote a few weeks ago was how to not be a good host. So I was specifically calling out, when you're dealing with something like a virus, it's looking for its next host. And so how can you ensure that you are not the next host? And I had written this whole post, but of course, all of that was to move you, help guide you into a place of power in a time where you might not be feeling all that powerful, where you might be feeling like things you've been relying on, assumptions you may have made about how the world works. This is the thing below the thing. All of that seems to be bursting. So in a time like this, what does it look like for you to come back into your power? For me, that is being prepared for anything. This, of course, is what drew me to doTERRA, as I know it did so many of you years ago, was to be ready for anything. I hope that right now, before I leave this part of our talk, that you are feeling encouraged and hopeful and supported with the tools that you have invested in. Whether you just joined doTERRA last month or whether you've been just learning and teaching and applying for years, I hope you can really come to a place right now of being confident in everything you've done up till now. Okay, so welcome to the new way. This is what I wanted to create as a subject for this whole talk. I don't believe this situation is going to be changing in the next week, next month, or even, I don't believe it's going to change. I'll just say that. I think this is the new. And I think that what we all need to do right now is think, okay, if this is the new, what does this mean for me? My kids go to Waldorf. And if any of you have kids in Waldorf, then you obviously already know this. The Waldorf education does not integrate tools, technology of any kind in the schools, which I love. I love it. I have seen such a radical difference in my kids in the last 2 years. Not just through that simple thing that the Waldorf education integrates, but many, many other things through that. But it's been a really interesting thing just to note the changes in them when they come to rely on their own innate, their instincts, their wisdom, their creativity. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because this morning, the Waldorf schools, for the first time ever, had to take everything to Google Classroom. And I just felt such warmth in my heart as I thought about the teachers and how difficult and challenging this would be for them to have to move so quickly into this new way of connection. But they responded to the call and they showed up for their kids, for their community, and they've had to go through a massive learning curve just over the weekend to create that sense of community. And it's a little thing, but I'm so inspired by that. As I was watching my girls this morning do their morning verses through video and work on their schoolwork that the school had outlined in the virtual classroom, I was really inspired. And I had already planned this talk before that situation this morning, but this leads me into what I want to talk with you about today, that this truly, you guys, this is going to be the new way. It could be well over a year before the things that you used to perhaps take for granted, like being able to just sit in a living room with 10 to 20 people and share oils with each other. It may be more than a year before something like that is ever able to take place again. And I don't say this to discourage you. I say this I want to help move you quickly into accepting the new way, but not only accepting it, really rising up to the invitation to lead in the new way. Okay. So I want to talk about what this looks like to take your business online, to meet your customers and to create that sense of community in these times. Okay. So I'm going to pull up, like I mentioned at the start of this, I recommend you go and watch Michelle Cannon's video. She did a great video. She's somebody who's been teaching online and creating in that way for quite a long time. So she shared some really great tips with you that I'm going to go through right now. What you see up on the screen is a PDF I posted to the units of our Facebook group last night, so you can access it there. Anything that's in blue text, you can click through for instant access. But what I do want to do right now is go through these 5 steps with you for teaching online classes, okay? As I go, you guys post your questions into the chat. I'll stay as long as you need once I'm done this and the updates to help you if I can, okay? So the first thing is you need to decide on what your classroom is going to be. So really simple is Zoom. How many of you have been part of a Zoom room experience? Maybe you've been a student in a Zoom room or you've led them yourselves. If you have never used it before, it's quite easy to do. Let me just grab a sip. It's actually free if your classes are going to be less than 40 minutes and if they have less than 100 people. Now, I don't see any reason for your classes to be longer than 40 minutes, especially as we teach in the new way. Hold on one second here. So everybody should be able to access this for free. Okay, so I recommend you open up a Zoom. The alternative, the B that I've listed here, is Facebook Live, like I'm doing right now into our group. What you could do, if you'd like this to be your classroom, is you're going to want to create a private Facebook group, okay? Something that's private for your students only, okay? Not something that's just blasting out into the interwebs on Instagram or on your Facebook page, but something that's a private experience, because you want to create a space of that feeling of connection and intimacy with small groups, okay? So what you could do is create a classroom, a private Facebook classroom. That is where you would do your streaming. Now, to stream using Facebook Live on a desktop, so you don't have to use your phone, you have to use Google Chrome for that, okay? So you'd open up Google Chrome. I believe you can screen share if you do it that way. If you can't, you can screen share in Zoom, okay? When you're doing an online class, it's helpful to have slides, which I'll get to in a moment. I guess the more Cadillac version of what I'm sharing with you would be what you see me doing right now is through a platform called Be Live. I didn't link it up there because it does cost $300 to $400 a year. I'm really trying to keep this simple, something that all of you could integrate, but Be Live is an option. And then you can actually schedule your classes. You can screen share, all the things, okay? So point number 2, consistency is key. So the reason that online classes tend to flop is because, and classes in general, you guys, even face-to-face, they flop when you're doing them here and there. You need to have 2 classes each week, 1 a.m. offering and 1 p.m. offering, so that anybody you're working with or sampling has the opportunity to pick a time frame that works for them. And if it doesn't work for them this week, then maybe it works for them next week or the week after. But the key is that you find a date and time that works for them. And the only way to do that is if you have a consistent schedule planned. So your call to action here is you're going to plan out at least the next month of online classes. You're going to build it and they're going to come. Okay? If you are somebody who's having 1 class a month or here and there, people aren't going to come to your classes because that appears to be a situation where you're not in it for real. You're doing it here and there. And that's not what people are looking for right now. They're looking for the real deal leaders, the people who are actually going to make it worth their while. You're going to make it worth their while if you're somebody who's showing up consistently. Okay? Now, there really is no reason why you can't do this right now. I know everyone's, feeling the overwhelm, trying to adjust to new schedules and systems. This may be the one thing that you start with when it comes to integrating a routine in your life. Is you pick those 2 time slots each week. That's when you're going to show up and teach. You talk with your family about it. I realize, with kids being home right now, like I'm literally in the kids' playroom streaming, because I could shut a door to this room, okay? So I set them up with their Boss Baby or whatever maybe they're watching right now, and so I could stream with you. So you just need to figure out what's the time, talk with the family, sort it out, but plan to show up 2 times a week. Point number 3, you must have a consistent sampling process in place. This is going to be the meat I want to focus on with you guys right now because I know this is new for many of you. So here's what this looks like. I'm going to go through. You guys can see I have underneath this point, I have several bullet points, okay? So obviously before I even get to this point, you need to order in sampling vials. You can get the little quarter dram vials, and a lot of essential oil supply stores sell them. Your doTERRA store has, I believe, I'm not sure if they have the quarter dram or the 5/8 size drams. I don't have one here to show you, but I think most of you know what those look like. You need to order those in. You need to get ready to get real, okay? Get real as a business owner, because sampling is going to be an integral part of your new way of your online business and really creating community around your classes, okay? You cannot skip this step. If you skip this step and go on to just teaching classes and scheduling classes, you're going to have nobody show up for your classes. Got it? Okay? This is really important. So thank you guys. A few of you commented saying that the doTERRA store has the 5/8 drams. That's just a little bigger. The thing is, when you're sampling, you're sampling like 10 to 12 drops. It kind of looks a little silly when you've got them in a bigger vial. But if that's all you can order right now, do it. It's great. But quarter drams, you can order from many essential, even Amazon has them, okay? Let me just see your comments. Okay, great question. Somebody said, would you do a different subject for those 2 times or the same one? You're gonna do the same one. You're gonna do the essential oils basics class. It's gonna be like 30 minutes, okay? And I'm gonna share with you the slide deck you're gonna use for that. If you want to do DIY classes and more in-depth classes, that's gonna be extra. That's gonna be on top of your 2 basic classes, okay? You guys are gonna get so good at because here's why. Now more than ever before, people need their introduction to doTERRA oils. They need access to understand what makes these oils different. I know you guys all know what, but to the vast majority of people out there, they have no idea what makes this so different than what they're finding at the mall or the health store or the gas station or the craft store. This is why these introduction classes are so important right now. Because you know what? A lot of people have gone on to use many other brands over the last few years, but now they're actually tired of using something that's not working. They're looking for the real deal, and you need to show up for them, okay? So coming back to my points, a key sampling process is important, so ordering your supplies. Then what you're going to do is you might want to do this at the start of each month. You might want to do this weekly, whatever you want to do. You're going to post it out through social media or through your email list that you're offering samples for your next class. Now, this does not mean you're going to be giving samples out to everybody. This is a very important thing to understand. Just because you're doing this offering of samples, you're going to attract a lot of people who are only looking for free things. I've been doing this now, you guys, for, more consistently in the last year, but I have sent a lot of samples out over the years. And what I've learned through that is, there are a lot of people looking for free things. And so what you're looking to do is engage with an actual human being who's interested in changing their life, changing their health. This is kind of interesting to note, but I had a huge influx of requests for samples over the last 2 weeks, just because of the times, right? And I wrote a note to I think I had over 30 requests. I wrote a note to all 30 of them. I said, due to the circumstance, I'm not able to access my supplies right now because my family and I have decided to stay isolated where we are right now rather than traveling back to where all my supplies are. So I said, listen, I would love to help you get started, or if you'd like, you can wait until the end of April to receive a sample. There were quite a few that said, I'll wait till end of April. But there were also quite a few that said, no, I'm good to go. And I'm working with them right now to find what kits will support them and their family best. So that was interesting for me to note that even in a time like this, there were some that were still willing to wait. And that's totally fine. It's just what you want to do through your sample offerings is you want to identify who are the people most ready right now that you can meet in their time of need, okay, to help them go to that next level. Take that next step in their healthcare. So you're going to post something, an invitation. Then you're going to direct anyone who's interested in receiving a sample, you're going to direct them to a sample request form. I've linked for you on this document my example. If you go to my.com/sample request form, you'll see it there. You'll see the questions I ask them. They have to fill in that form, and then that comes to my inbox, and I can look at it and I can see, is this somebody who's already enrolled? Is this somebody who's already working with somebody in doTERRA? Is this somebody who's truly invested in changing their life and their healthcare? Now, a pro tip I want to share here. One of the things I do in this process is I encourage them to pick one health concern that they would like to put the oils to work towards. I don't just say, which oils would you like to try? I don't just say, would you like to try lemon and lavender and wild orange and peppermint? What would you like? I say, what is your immediate health concern? And I have 10 different areas in that sample request form that they can choose from. Now, these are areas that will experience pretty quick results with the oils, okay? Some trickier ones would be things like hormones or releasing weight, right? That's obviously going to be a longer game situation. You want to give people the opportunity to really experience the power of the oils within their health concern quickly. So when you're working with people online, the difference between sampling online versus in person, where it might be somebody who lives down the street that you could check in with every couple of days if see how it went. With online, just plan to send them 2 samples rather than just 1. 2 sample vials with 10 to 12 drops in each vial towards their health concern. Okay, you guys might want to just go look at my process and duplicate it if it resonates, or come up with something similar, maybe you pick 3 health concerns and you fill up your vials towards those health concerns, and you're ready to go. Okay. Okay. Another pro tip I want to share is when they fill in the form, if you're using something free like Google Form, you can have the responses sent to your email. You can also have them duplicate over to a spreadsheet. What you'll want to do is you'll want to put those emails into a warm market email segment. If you're not using email marketing, now would be the time to start, because social media, you guys, is just becoming so overwhelming for people. So this maybe that's something you skill up in this time that you're home. Something you could really do for your business right now is learning email marketing. Flowdesk is something I've linked up in this document. You can use it for free for 30 days. If you love it, it's $19 a month. That's it. I recently moved everything over out of MailChimp, for example, over to Flowdesk. In MailChimp, you guys, I was paying almost $400 a month for what I'm now doing in Flowdesk for $19 a month. So that's a great platform to check out. MailerLite is another one people love. I'm not going to recommend any other ones because I think they're still living in the dark ages, to be honest. So email marketing, the reason I mention this is you can have your form. Let's say so my website is built on Squarespace. So the form I just showed you, the example there, when someone fills in that form on my Squarespace website, it automatically adds their email to my warm market list in Flowdesk. So when I'm mailing out a monthly email, let's say with this month's promotion, or letting people know, hey, my next online class is coming up tomorrow, that list is already there. If you're not doing something like that, then you might have to have a process where, like a reminder in your calendar, where you're adding all of the sample requests you've received. You're adding those emails to, like, you're doing it. It's not automated. Okay, so next step. Once you've received a completed form, here's the key thing. Write that person a personal message, a little note through either email or Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs. Write them a personal note to engage with them. Just say, hey, thanks, I received your sample request, and then ask them a question. Like, I'm so excited for you to experience doTERRA. Have you ever used essential oils before? If they don't write you back, No sample. Again, like, how are you going to differentiate between people just looking for free things and robots versus humans who are actually interested? Okay. Start the conversation. This is a relationship, you're forming with a customer. When you decide to send out a sample package, let the person know that you're going to be sending it, and ask them to message you once it arrives. This is key, because then you're going to be able to give them the link to your next online class. Okay? So if you guys are beginning this whole process right now, this month, it's going to take at least a month, right, of offering the samples and qualifying people and mailing the samples before you have people showing up for your class. Okay. So what you might want to do this month is do a couple, trial classes, get used to the flow of working in Zoom or on Facebook Live, so that next month at this time, when you have a whole group ready to rock and roll and really dive in and learn with you, because they've received their samples, you'll feel like you're better positioned to teach. Okay. And then the one last point I have here is always send a little reminder email 2 days before the online class. So a lot of you have seen my classroom that I run off my website. I keep that open to the public. To be honest, you guys, I love to teach. I'm doing that to help teach the teachers. So I'm not actually doing what I'm teaching you here. What I'm teaching you here is how to properly sample, teach, and enroll. I don't enroll customers off of those classes I teach, even though I'll have 10,000 people either watch the recording or show up live. I rarely enroll based off of that class. I want to help you guys understand that. The reason is I'm not creating a situation where they feel that intimate connection with me. This is why the smaller classes that you're going to do twice a week happening on Zoom or on Facebook Live this is what they're there for, not what I do. Okay. What you see me doing, you may make assumptions that, oh my gosh, there's so many people that show up for those classes. No, in fact, probably a good 80 to 90% of the people that show up for those classes are wellness advocates all over on many different teams. And I'm showing up for them. Okay. So anyway, the reason I want to share that is this whole process is flowing to help you grow your business, to help you build community. Okay. So there's two more steps to this. Step number 4 is teaching the actual class. So keep your class 20 to 30 minutes max. You're going to get better at this the more you practice. I suggest you use this month, you guys, to do some practice classes. Like I said, maybe you invite your friends and family that you can't see in person right now to join you in your new classroom setting, where you can practice and have them give you feedback. In this PDF I'm showing you, I've linked the slide deck for teaching an easy essential oils basics class. It's so basic. You can add to it if you want. You can go to our class kit and pull from the slide deck I've shared with you of my own from last year. It's a little more in depth. You can customize this, but keep in mind when you're teaching online, you guys, you want to keep your class less than 30 minutes or people check out. Like I've been talking now for 44 minutes. How many of you are ready to hop, right? Like it's almost too much. So you've got to really respect that. So 20 to 30 minutes max. Close the class with a time-sensitive enrolling promotion. Now, if you're doing Diamond Club right now, that's already been given to you. That's a cool perk of doing Diamond Club. doTERRA is giving you bottles of Adaptive and Citrus Bliss to give out that you don't have to pay for. But if you are not doing Diamond Club, then maybe you offer a 5 ml wild orange, something maybe you get from Class in a Box, right? This is a tip that Michelle Cannon shared. I love this. Invite them while you're still on air with them to text you that they're ready to start. And you can give them little shout outs on air. Hey, Kelly, I got your text. I'll shoot you a message after class and I'll help you get set up, that kind of thing. Obviously, because you're dealing with a small class size, you can give them your number during the class. You're not giving it out to the whole interwebs. interweb galactica. While you're waiting for them to text you, remind your class that you would love to teach an online class for their friends and family. So this is where those of you that have done our momentum model, you learned about the keychain that you can offer people to host a virtual class that you would teach. And you tell them that for every person that they invite that shows up for the virtual class, you're going to give them a keychain filled with a bottle of oil for each person. Okay, so that's, again, just incorporating. This is really taking the whole momentum model, the back to basics approach to teaching. This is really how you take that online. The last step of this is following up. So enrolling those who are interested right when you get off the class. Okay, plan some time there to be able to call people or email with people, text with people, whatever their preference is, to help them choose their kit. This, of course, is when you could send them a link generator for a custom kit. I do that quite a bit. I love it. And then while you're enrolling them, helping them get started with their first purchase, schedule their wellness consult for next week. Just get it in the calendar already. This, of course, is one of the ways we show up beautifully for our customers and our community. Is we offer to help them with their questions. We, helping them create a daily routine with their oils. Basically, just really helping them get started, right? Anybody that doesn't enroll through your class, you just keep them in that warm market segment, and that's where they receive invitations for promos and future classes if they want to attend another one. I want to just come back to what I opened up this session with. We are entering a time, the next 3 to 6 months, doTERRA is going to be in the highest demand it's ever been. And we're ready. doTERRA has been planning for this for years, you guys. Sustainability-wise, you're going to see a lot of the other essential oil companies fold, unfortunately, in the next couple of years because they were never practicing in a sustainable way. They were working through middlemen and brokers and ripping off the farmers. What doTERRA has done since day one in building relationships with farmers all over the world has really created a sustainable future of access to essential oils. And now we are in this time when people are more open than ever before to learning about how they can best become a self-agent, which is what you really guys are all doing. You've learned how to take personal responsibility for your health. What's an interesting thing to note in a time like this when so many people are becoming hosts for this virus and overwhelming our healthcare system. Dave Sterling, the CEO of doTERRA, one of the things I caught on to what he said earlier this week when he was sharing, just, guys, there's nothing to fear through a time like this. One of the things he said was, there is not a single doTERRA employee right now that's sick. Not to say that there won't be, but that was really interesting to hear right now is that they are fully topped up with employees right now. And that's just people who work within the doTERRA corporate offices. And as customers and as wellness advocates who have access to doTERRA, you are in a position to take very good care of yourself right now. And so you are helping to relieve the burden that our healthcare systems are breaking under right now. So if you have any more questions about online classes, please post them into the comments. I just want to go through the next 5 minutes sharing some updates with you. Okay. So the first one is doTERRA has a new essential oil specialist course. Now, this is actually normally going to be $97, and it's really underpriced, you guys. Of all of the aromatherapy courses, I've taken several myself over the last 5 to 7 years that were just available through the aromatherapy communities. There is no course that's robust enough because doTERRA has the largest database of essential oil usage and research in the world. And there was no other course that could speak to the depth of ways you can use doTERRA oils. So they worked with aromatherapists, professionals, to create this course for you. Right now, until April 1st, it's half the price. So I do want to make sure, and again, I'll post these links into the video. I've mentioned this on our Facebook wall. So if you want, this would be a good time for you to develop your foundation of essential oil chemistry and history and knowledge and usage, okay? Can we pull that down? Next update is Supernatural Recipe Guide. I really hope you've had the chance to take a look at this. You may have passed this off as something you'll get to eventually. I launched this to you 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Little did I know the time we would be entering, okay? This guide, you guys, is your go-to for learning how to be confident in a time like this, when maybe you can't get out to stores to buy things that you normally would be. This is going to teach you how to make everything you need to make. And this tool I have created is a paid tool through my WholeFit shop, but it is free to you, not only to you, but to share with your customers. And so I do want to make sure you know about this and that you're using it yourself, that you're allowing it to serve you with inspiration at a time like this, when you can, maybe you take a different topic each week with your community groups and you teach them how to make things. I love it. I'm reading your comments right now and I can't see who's writing them, but someone said they're taking their team through one recipe each week, more in depth. So this guide, work it in however you want to. This leads me to my next update, which is our email series for our customers. This is launching on Wednesday, you guys. It is basically done. Again, I'll post the link for how you can subscribe to this and how you can subscribe your customers to this. There will be, throughout this 3-month education series, there will be drips of all of our resources and content and everything available to our customers within this guide. So for example, the Supernatural Recipe Guide will be linked up through this. So if you're not sure right now how to share this out with your community, maybe what you want to do is just share the opportunity for them to subscribe to the new email series. Okay, again, it's going to launch on Wednesday. So if you want to add yourself to that, the links will be posted here after this. Next update. I'm excited about this one. Healthy habits. So you guys know we came together as a collective to create the 21-day Healthy Habit Program last June. It was phenomenal. It's so good. We put it on hold. I was going to run it in January in place of the Essential 30 Cleanse. But then we found out that TerraZyme had failed some quality testing, and so doTERRA pulled it until the manufacturers could bring the quality up to where it needed to be. And so TerraZyme is back as of mid-April. This kit, the Healthy Habits Kit, is going to be available in the Canadian warehouse by mid-April, along with the US warehouse. What's exciting about this is it means we can now offer this program to our community. So I've chosen the dates of May 11th through the 31st to run this 21-day program. The reason I chose that is I want to give people time to order it on their May order, that first week of May. So you're going to want to do promotion of this once it goes live in the warehouse. Some people might want to place their order later in April, or a second order in April to get this in, or they might want to wait till the first week of May, okay? So I'll share again more info on that. I'm planning to go through the Healthy Habits Facebook group and through the ebook and just make sure it has any updates that it needs. I'm going to do that towards the end of this week to get us ready for that, okay? So that's coming. Lots of goodies, right? I think there was one more thing I was going to share. Yes. Okay. Momentum model. So I'll end here because you guys are going to notice a big uptick in interest in building doTERRA, in doing a doTERRA business. Now, keep in mind, the people that join you right now to build doTERRA will only know from here forward. They're going to come into doTERRA to build this as a business, not ever knowing what it felt like to teach essential oil classes in home. This is where you want to start them. The Momentum Model is our program for starting off all business builders. They can fast track themselves through this, but the intention is you block off 20 days and you do 1 hour a day of work on your business That 1 hour is partly listening to some calls and partly taking action. Now, the lights went on for me last night as I was posting, getting ready to talk to you about online classes. And I thought, oh, I've got to go back to this momentum model and integrate how to teach online in this new way. So I'm going to do that over the next few days. I'm going to make sure that it has the content for how to teach online classes. But I just wanted to remind you guys, as you have customers coming to you wanting to build their business now, you're going to have a lot more people interested in doing doTERRA because of the economy. doTERRA actually started, you guys, during the last recession. It's when so many people were looking for opportunities to build residual income, and we're heading into that again. We're heading into, and it actually, the forecast is we're heading into something we've never been in before, at least not in our lifetime. So you're going to have a lot of interest because doTERRA is positioned more than any other home-based business very strongly for the future. So when you enroll people who want to do the business with you, add them to our Facebook group, let them know they can go through the units in our group in order, but this momentum model is where they want to start. I see somebody said, I'm going to go through this again in April. Yeah, if you haven't done this, or maybe you did 8 months ago, do a refresh, skill up, get sharp, in the work that we do so that you can show up with confidence for your community. So I'm going to update that, like I said, with the online piece. All right, let me hop off screen share, post any questions you guys have to the wall. The Finding Builder program is not in there. That's a separate program, but it is on, I make mention of the Finding Builders program on the very last day of Momentum Model. Okay. Just scrolling, looking for questions here. Someone asked, do I charge for a sample kit? I don't recommend charging for a sample kit unless you're sending something a little more robust. Maybe it's something where you're sending, a couple of different samples and some usage guides. Another way, here's an idea. If you're going to charge as a way of qualifying people, then you might charge $5, but you might let them know that you'll PayPal them that $5 once they enroll. Just an idea. Do I have a sample graphic of what you're putting on social media? Yeah, you guys can actually hop over to my Instagram and you can see the graphic I've used in the past. You know what? What a great time to do your own photo shoot at home. Just grab a bunch of your bottles, put them on a white board, do it in front of light, and do your own photo shoot at home. Take a picture of some of your bottles and create your own sample graphic. Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. What day of the week do you find is the best day for online classes? Whatever day you can show up with consistency, go with that. Because you know what? If you're choosing a day based on only when you think your customers can attend, then it might create a situation for you where you come to burnout because maybe it's actually not the right time for you and your family. So pick the day and time that works for you. We're, guys, like truly the next few months, everyone's taking time right now in this week to adapt, but I do believe we're going to be in our homes a lot longer than what people may have been predicting or saying. So people will get sorted, and then they'll be able to make one of your times work. Okay, any other questions, you guys? Coming up on an hour. Okay, I'm going to end this here. If you guys want to share this out, tag your people below it. I will hop in here and put the resources that I've mentioned. And if you're looking for it quickly, it'll be in the videos section of our Facebook group. What I do want you to keep in mind right now is this is everybody's invitation to look at this as the green light or the red light. You guys, you will have people in your business quit right now. You'll have people who will say to you, I can't afford my monthly order. You'll have people who will say, I can't do this. This is hard, because they can't teach in-person classes anymore. You'll have people who are not willing to evolve into the new way. But what you'll notice in equal waves is you'll have people joining your business with such a fresh excitement and energy to do this work, because doTERRA is the most stable home-based business somebody could be incorporating right now. In fact, let me share something interesting with you as we go. There have been people over the last few months that have very publicly shared how they were moving on to other things. They were leaving their doTERRA business. Even they have started enrolling again. Not all of them, but I see all the numbers, right? I'm like, oh, interesting. Even those that have said they're not doing doTERRA anymore have started enrolling again. So everyone's going to have their stories about this time. And what you need to be doing as a leader is modeling the new way. Let people choose. If you have people who decide they can't continue to build this business because they can't afford it, they're going to need to find another way to bring income into their home. Now listen, to be straight up with you, I'm not aware of another home-based business as affordable as doTERRA. Of course, there are your eyelash, I've seen this magnetic eyelash business where there's no, you don't have to have a monthly order to make an income. But that's what we call just quick sauce. That's just making money for a couple of months and it's gone. doTERRA is a legacy business, you guys. This is a business that one day you will to your children, your grandchildren. This is not the kind of business you want to walk out on at a time like this. What you do want to do is learn how you can get creative to meet your customer in this new time, and really look at where you're holding back. To anyone that's saying that they can't afford their monthly order right now doing this business, I would ask them, who are 2 to 3 people that are on their knees right now looking for a way, looking for hope in a way that you could offer them? And get creative. I mean, if you need to, then maybe you offer, a few people in your neighborhood the ability to order with your account. I mean, don't put it out there publicly, but think about how you can care for people creatively at a time like this, okay? So anyway, I got to hop off and eat something. I've been chatting most of this day. Love you guys. Listen, you have everything you need right now in order to really rise up and show up for people. It's your decision. Do what you need to do to get sorted at home. Certainly don't try to be doing things while you feel like you're drowning. Get yourself situated. Be prepared right now for what is going to be likely a longer haul than what is being shared right now. But most important, there is a thing happening below the thing. There's a lot of good that's going to come of this time. There's a lot of good that's going to unfold in the coming months through this time. And so don't remain in a state of fear over what's happening. Use your tools to shift in the moment, come back to your place of power and decide to show up for people because they are looking for you, okay? They're looking for you. Show up for them. Okay, I'll see you guys.